Hey everybody, it's Author MD New. Welcome back to my writing tips and tricks. I hope you've found the videos that I posted so far really helpful. Today I wanted to share something more about me and my writing. Kind of, this is all about my writing process and how writing works for me, especially these days. So, it's changed, and with all authors and writers, it will definitely change as things progress in your writing career and everything like that. So today I thought I would share a little bit about my story and kind of how things went. I will have a link to the blog post that goes into a little bit more information about my journey as a writer and kind of my current writing process. So that will be down below. Okay, so basically, when I started writing, I had the luxury of sitting back and working on my very first story. That was the only thing I had to worry about. I would sit down, I would get inspired, I would write, and I would work on one story. And then I'd maybe think about it for a couple days, maybe play around with some other stuff, the usual, and then come back to writing the story. And this is how I started writing the very first book that I wrote, which was Contact, A New World, Book One. And I just sat down and I got to focus on it. This is also why the book took probably 10 years for me to write. So, it took quite a bit of time, but I had the luxury of time. I wasn't in a hurry. I didn't have anything else to do. Writing was fun. So I sat down and I wrote, and that's all I did. Well, that was great for the first book. And then I added the second book, which was The Calling. That was the next book to come out. And then Conviction, which was the third book, or the second book in my sci-fi series, came out. And during this time, I was starting to focus a little bit here, a little bit there, and writing this story. And oh, my publisher asked if I had any short stories that I wanted to contribute. So I wrote a couple of short stories. I wrote The Reunion, and I wrote A Dragon for Christmas. And as more works came out, the busier I got and the less I got to spend sitting and writing. I actually had to split my time. I had to edit stories and reworking my current works in progress. I had to engage with readers. That was, took some doing, especially since I didn't know if I was going to have any readers, but I started to engage with people. Then I had to plan for events. It was like, oh, okay, well, I want to go to this book event. I've got some books, so I need to plan for that. And then along with that, I created my blog, which I've had up and running since 2016, and it's kind of been my diary, my journal of my writing process. So this is where a lot of this comes from. And then my publisher said, "Hey, you need to get on social media." So I was like, "Okay." So I got onto social media. And oh, by the way, you should have a newsletter. So I developed a quarterly newsletter. And oh, and now that you've got some books out, you need to work on marketing. It was like, marketing? Yeah, you need to do marketing and PR and promotion and all this. And it was like, okay. Then, now with all these books out, I had to start trying to get reviews and find reviewers to review my book and to, get their feedback and everything like that. So slowly but surely, all this writing time that I once had got chipped away, chipped away, chipped away, chipped away, to now where I'm lucky if I get, to spend a couple of hours a week writing. There are times where I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll come and jump on the laptop and bang out a chapter or something like that, which is really exciting. And I really like those moments where I actually can just focus and write and spend the time doing what I love. And if you're an author, if you're a writer, that's the part that we all love. We love creating the stories, no matter how hard and how terrible it is, and how frustrating it can be, and how when the muse leaves you, all of a sudden you're just, angst ridden because you're so frustrated because you want to get this story out there. One of the other things that I really enjoyed doing was I have what I call my trunk. And in the trunk, I have a whole bunch of character sheets that I created. And if you've listened to any of my writing tips and tricks, you know that I have a whole thing about character development and creating characters. Well, in this trunk, I've got all sorts of characters. And I would spend hours and hours and hours just creating random general characters. I'd see somebody on the street, or I'd see somebody on the TV, or I have a couple of coworkers who may or may not be general background characters. But these characters aren't, they're not, now, don't get me wrong, these aren't my main characters. My main characters are something different. These are just background characters. These are secondary characters. These are characters who may have a couple of pages of dialogue, but I need it, we need to have these characters in our trunk so when we're writing our story, we don't have to stop what we're doing and create a whole new character. For me, I could just go to my writing trunk, open it up, and say, okay, I need a security guard, or I need a clothier, or I need a scientist, or a doctor, or something like that. And there were these general characters that I had created that all of a sudden I can say, okay, you're now a doctor or whatever. And there they are. And I would have them. So I don't get to do that much fun part anymore. Or that's what I can, at least what I consider fun, because I like creating the characters and making all these people and having them available for me. So yeah, you know, what once was spending, my weekends or my weeknights writing and developing these stories now are broken up amongst all these other tasks, doing all this stuff that makes my writing process totally different now. So as I've grown as a writer, and the things have changed. So it's very challenging sometimes. But overall, I still love it, and it's a lot of fun. Overall, that's kind of my general writing experience. Oh man, sorry, my voice has just completely gone out for the moment. There we go, it's starting to come back. Anyway, so that's just kind of my writing process and kind of where this journey's taken me so far. I'm curious of what your writing journey is like, so let me know in the comments below. Hopefully, this little bit of a background was helpful. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon, hopefully, once my voice comes back. Okay, everybody, take care. Bye bye.